Good afternoon and welcome to Teleislas News with the most relevant and important information of the day. In the last hours, the resignation of the Secretary of Health, Julian Davis, from the cabinet of Governor Everett Hawkins was confirmed.
The news of the moment is the departure of the Secretary of Health, Julian Davis Robinson, from the position he has held since the beginning of the administration of Governor Everett Hawkins. Teleislas News was able to establish that Davis Robinson was in charge of the health portfolio until February 20, and that yesterday, February 21st, he handed over the office, leaving the portfolio with a compliance in its goals of 80.9%, according to figures handled inside the governor's office. Regarding the immediate future of the former Health Secretary, this news team learned that Davis Robinson won the contest of merit by the National Civil Service Commission and that on March 4th he will take office. Teleislas News also learned that during the Government Council held this morning, Governor Everett Hawkins asked the outgoing Secretary of Health to accompany the interim secretary until the new secretary is sworn in.
With 5 votes in favor and 4 against, the full chamber of the Constitutional Court decided to decriminalize abortion up to 24 weeks of gestation. But what changes does this historic decision generate in the country and its regions? Here we have more details.
The Constitutional Court's decision means that voluntary termination of pregnancy will be legal during the first 24 weeks. After this time, the grounds established by the court in 2006 will be enforced. Since 2006 and until this Monday, abortion was considered a right in 3 grounds only: when the pregnancy implies a risk to the physical or mental health of the woman, in case of rape, and if there is malformation of the fetus. In view of the new decision of the Constitutional Court of Colombia, pregnancies up to 24 weeks of gestation may be determined without the woman receiving criminal punishment. However, the court said that the practice will not be eliminated from the penal code and will be judged if it is performed after that time and outside the 3 grounds existing until now. This decision allows women to have access to health institutions that comply with all health guarantees for the termination of pregnancy. According to national government data, 400,000 abortions are performed in Colombia annually, and less than 10% are carried out in institutions with health guarantees, being pregnancy termination the 4th cause of maternal mortality in Colombia.
And in the department, thousands of voices, both for and against, have reacted to the decision of the Constitutional Court against the decriminalization of abortion.
The comments after the decision were not long in coming. The opinion in the department are divided between those who approve or disapprove the new decision of the Constitutional Court of decriminalization of abortion. This is what the community said.
La verdad es que estoy en contra.
The truth is that I am against it. It doesn't seem fair to me because it is a living being. It shouldn't be. Whether it is 6 weeks or 23 weeks, it is not fair. It shouldn't be.
Pues no estoy de acuerdo. La verdad es que es un tema.
I don't agree. This is a worrying decision because as a Christian, I think that the only one who has the authorization to give and take life is God. And I think that this decision can be used irresponsibly.
Pues no me gusta, para nada.
I don't really like it because it is a life. One sees countries in Europe or the United States where it is legalized, and one wonders why they do it.
Political and religious actors have also expressed their opinion not only in San Andres but also in the rest of the country regarding the decriminalization of abortion. In Teleislas News will be attentive to the facts that are generated with respect to this decision.
And in other news, taking into account that in the last hours the national government established the regulation of cannabis in an industrial way, today we provide details of this new regulation.
This weekend, the presidency issued Resolution 227 of 2022, which regulates Decree 811 of 2021, which regulates and establishes guidelines for the industrial use of cannabis in the country. In this case, the decree seeks to establish licensing and permit requirements as well as the use of the components of the cannabis plant in food, beverages, and dietary supplements. It also establishes the conditions under which the plant may be used for scientific, medicinal, or industrial purposes. How to apply for the license and permit? This process will be done through the Cannabis Control Information Mechanism. According to the modality of use, the licenses will be processed in the respective entity. This range of possibilities includes INVIMA and the Ministry of Justice and Law. These new licenses do not leave aside the control of each case. How to apply for the extensions of the license? In the case of those who have a license for a period of 5 years under Decree 613 of 2017 and want to extend this permit, they must submit the corresponding payment. In turn, it makes the diligence 3 months before the license expires.
Tomorrow will begin the most important tourism fair in the country, as is Anato Tourism Showcase, and the departmental government finishing adjusting details of the booth for its great participation.
The Tourism Secretariat has been making the necessary arrangements to have all the logistics ready for tomorrow's great participation in the 41st version of the Anato Tourism Showcase. The preparation of the booth is already organized. This fair is held in the city of Bogotá, where successful participation is expected.
Un cordial saludo para toda la comunidad.
In this opportunity, as the Secretary of Tourism, I am already in the city of Bogotá, performing all the actions delegated by the governor, so that the presentation and participation of our department in the tourist showcase of Anato is a success. Therefore, I am in front of this situation, reviewing the logistical issues, the issues of suppliers, the issue of the booth, so that again, this year we can have a stand visited by agencies, by departments, and through this, we can market our destination with the entrepreneurs and the tourist offer we are bringing for this tourist version of Anato.
The local administration expects to promote the destination with business and tourist visits and to increase the offers for the current year.
A public outreach against a serious mold that seems to have become a reality has been reported by members of a recognized medical laboratory on the island. COVID-19 tests are apparently being falsified for foreign visitors to the island.
Fraud and document forgery is being denounced by the legal representative of the medical laboratory on the island because, according to the source, false COVID-19 test certificates are being sold since August of the previous year in tourist agencies by people on the island. Sephora Ben, legal representative of the laboratory, states that the complaint has been issued before the fiscal entity on the island, but unfortunately, she has not received any response from the investigation, and the modality has increased, causing damage to her good name and that of her company.
Desde el año pasado, en el mes de agosto.
Since last year in August, we had complaints from tourists, and we presented evidence to the authorities in September of what was happening. On many occasions, I have approached them to verify the process, and what they have told us is that, yes, it is a process for which they are gathering evidence.
According to Ben, when she issued the report, she thought that the activity would decrease. However, it is quite the opposite. There are more and more cases of misrepresentation in the COVID test certificate.
This has become massive. We are talking about other people who are involved. We have tourist agencies that are involved in selling the certificates. We have the ATVs or mule renters, and it is a very serious situation, not only because it is detrimental to the good name that I have forged here on the island, but it is also a public health issue because we may have several sick people.
Teleislas News has tried to communicate with the competent authorities to know how the process is being progressing and what measure can be taken to mitigate this illegal activity. However, up to the beginning of this broadcast, it was not possible. This news agency will seek to expand this information for the central broadcast at 8 p.m.
And although it is true that the cases of COVID have been decreasing considerably in the islands, the authorities asked the national level to maintain the alert for the Omicron subvariant.
The epidemiological situation of COVID-19 in San Andres continued with a downward trend in number of cases and positive results. However, the need to remain alert continues due to subvariants that are already circulating.
We are observing at the national level a consolidated reduction in the number of cases, but certainly we cannot say conclusively that we have already overcome the Omicron. But with the subvariant, we must remain alert, and even if we are with a downward trend, we must be cautious and be attentive to the behavior or uncertainty of the subvariants of Omicron. So it is very important for us to continue with the use of face masks and basic biosecurity measures.
This decline observed in a consolidated manner suggests that although it cannot be said conclusively that Omicron has passed, it's possible to speak of overcoming the peak in the islands.
And at this time, we continue with sport news with Victor Fusalva.
Hello, here are the best sports of the island. Teacher Laudine Smith continues our training process with the children of the Hill sector. Professor Laudine uses baseball as a tool to train baseball players and professionals for the future. With her training school Loma Roots and her coaching staff, the coach continues her training sessions, preparing the children for the next local tournament, looking to have them ready for the next international trip to the city of Miami. Coach Laudine told us more details.
The reason of the practice on the hill is because we want to keep the children them occupied in something productive. So we are here every day practicing, organizing tournament also in turn on the hill to keep them in sport and different things, and they will never be in badness. So we appreciate the parents them that collaborating, but we're begging that they will be more responsible and send them out to practice. And the team that we're preparing 3 different categories. We're preparing 10 years, 11 and 12 years, and 14 years. That the help of God, we will try to assist to it because they invite us from last year, and then they like the work that we did do with them last year. So we're working very hard on those categories and see if we can make the trip from the 29th of July until the 7th of August.
Parents are definitely a fundamental part of the formation of young baseball players, as stated by Prof. Laudine. And on the other side, horse racing is a tourist attraction that integrates people from different cities and different cultures. People come from different regions of the country to recreate and integrate with sport that is the culture and tradition of the islands. Some bring tourism, others are riders or caretakers of these animals that gallop to delight the island people. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose in the races or bets, but in the end, losing is also a winning. This was stated by Juan Rivera, better known as Pollito, a rider and caretaker who is already part of this horse racing culture.
The truth is that I'm a jockey and I came here to take care of the horses, but I also work as a jockey and blacksmith. Today we had a race. I raced Tommy Lee. He lost, but the colt gained experience. The truth is that losing is also winning because the horse will gain more experience for the other races to come and also give a little bit of motivation to all the public.
And we also had a visitor from Barranquilla by tourists who shares her opinion.
Well, I came from the city of Barranquilla with the purpose of enjoying the beaches of San Andres and also the plethora of horse races going on here today, Saturday. The horse races are very good. From Barranquilla, I send a big greeting to the island of San Andres and to all its inhabitants and all the San Andrean residents.
A true celebration that integrates different cultures and regions of the country are these horse races held in Velodia Road. And this is all in sports for the moment. I am Victor Fusalva, Teleislas News.